of online lectures. Today in this particular talk, we are going to discuss about similarities and differences between electro or electric discharge machining and electrochemical machining. First of all, I will summarize the basic working principle of both the processes, that is EDM and ECM. So unlike conventional metal cutting processes, non-traditional machining process also employ the different forms of energy for controlled removal of material from the workpiece and to impart desired shape, size and finish. Okay, that is the output. So if you consider the electric discharge machining, it is a one thermal energy based process where material is removed by localized melting or vaporization, and huge amount of heat is generated by means of electrical spark. If you see in this diagram, here tool is made up of electrode, that is a negative polarity, and small gap is maintained between the tool and workpiece. Workpiece means what? That is another electrode, okay, which will act as a positive polarity, and small gap is maintained between these two electrode, and this gap is again filled with dielectric fluid. So here I have used dielectric fluid also, and when sufficient potential is applied across between these two electrode, and the dielectric fluid will break down to assist the spark formation, and spark temperature reaches as high as 10,000 degrees Celsius, and such high temperature spark instantaneously fuses and vaporizes material and create a small cavity of nanometric dimensional size small cavities on the workpiece surface. A repeated generation of such spark in a controlled way can lead the production of highly finished surface. Okay, so material removal will takes place. Then if you talk about the electrochemical machining, as the name suggests, electrochemical machining, that is ECM, this is a one electrochemical energy based non-traditional machining process where material is removed by ionic dissolution following by the principle of Faraday's law, and here thermal energy has no direct role in this material removal process. No such spark is also generated. Okay, however, similar to EDM, the tool electrode and workpiece electrode is connected to two terminal of the electrical power source, and a small gap is maintained in between these two electrode. Okay, small gap is maintained in between them, and this gap is filled with the suitable electrolyte. Okay, and when sufficient potential difference is applied across two electrode, electrochemical reaction initiates, and thus ions are displaced from work surface to realize material removal. Materials for electrode, there is a two electrode as well as the electrolyte, must be selected in compatible with the work material, so that only material removal from the work surface should be takes place and the tool remains intact. Okay, so this is a summary about the electrochemical machining. So there are various similarities and differences between this EDM and ECM. So first we will discuss about the similarities between EDM and ECM. So first point is, as we know that EDM and ECM both are the non-traditional machining processes. However, they are not hybrid processes. Both the process take assistance of electric energy for material removal. Okay, however, their material removal mechanisms are different. Okay, this one should be noted. Then they can be applied for electrical conductive materials only. Okay, this is the application. For non-conductive materials, coating strategy can be adopted in some cases, but process capability and accuracy will not be satisfactory. Okay, so this is a similarity. Then next one is that is both the process require an additional source of power supply, typically DC power generator. For what purpose? To maintain sufficient potential difference between the tool and workpiece, that is a two electrode, and a form electrode having profile according to intended final shape on the workpiece is required in the both cases. Okay. Then mechanical properties of work material such as strength, hardness, brittleness, etc. pose no restriction on the applicability to these processes. Okay, and both the processes are usually free from burr, residual traces and other thermal damages to the work surface. Though EDM is based on the thermal energy, but heat is generated locally and thus has no or negligible thermal impact on the machined surface. So these are the some similarities between the EDM and ECM. Let us discuss the main or important point, that is the differences between this EDM and ECM. So first point is, so here you can see material removal takes place by melting and evaporation, that is the spark erosion. It is in the case of EDM process. So due to melting and evaporation, material removal takes place, that is the spark erosion, and it is one volume removal process. Okay, but in case of electrochemical machining, material is removed by controlled electrochemical dissolution of work metal, that is anode, and material removal takes place in the form of ions. Okay, instead of direct volume removal. Okay, this is first one. Then second, in case of the EDM, owing to electric spark, significant heat is generated in this process, and the localized temperature reaches as high as up to 10,000 degrees Celsius. But in case of ECM, no heat is generated. Then in case of EDM, an appropriate electrical or dielectric fluid such as kerosene, paraffin, oil, deionized water is used in EDM process. For what purpose? To assist the spark generation. In case of ECM, a suitable electrolyte such as NaCl, NaNO3 is applied to assist the flow of ions in between the two electrodes. Then during EDM process or operation, electrode material is also removed gradually along with the workpiece material. However, electrode material removal rate is much lower than work material removal rate. Okay, this point should be noted. Then in case of ECM, electrode does not suffer anywhere. Okay, during the ECM process, same electrode can be used for longer duration, and accordingly electrode life is also higher. Then EDM process typically requires high potential difference, that is 50 to 400 volt, and moderate current, that is 100 to 200 ampere. In case of ECM process, it requires moderate voltage, that is less than 50 volt, but very high current, that is more than 1000 ampere. Okay, so these are the points regarding differences between EDM and ECM, and here I have mentioned some references from where I have taken this data. Okay, thank you very much.